Friends, hello everyone. My name is Pavel Filippov, and today it is a live broadcast from SOLARGROUP Company, where we will sum up the results of the year 2022 that is ending, and we will speak about the plans of the project for the next year. We have two reasons for that. The year 2022 is nearing its end, and we are summing up the results, and we are going to speak about our achievements. But besides, today we are getting to a new stage of project financing. Now we are at the stage 17 of development, and on the 31st of December, it will be the last day when the conditions of the 17th stage will still be in force. After that, we will get to stage 18, a new milestone. And of course, we will speak about stage 17 and about the results which we have managed to achieve. Today, a lot of different speakers will present. Apart from me, there will be Sergey, Semyonov, CEO of SOLARGROUP. There will be a video from Sovelmash, where Aleksandr, Sudarev and Dmitriy Duyunov will also share the latest achievements of Sovelmash. People will present those who are already using the technology of combined Weihai Slavyanka and who run their business based on this technology, Viktor Arestov and Andrey Lobov. You will also see Alisa Kuznetsova, head of Partners Network, and Vitaliy Averyanov, IT director of SOLARGROUP. And of course, our distinguished national partners have also prepared small presentations that you will see. Don't forget to share this broadcast, like it, put it in your social networks. All of that allows us to increase the coverage of our audience and to make the realization of the project Duyunov Motors closer. Let's begin. And the first person I want to give the floor to is CEO of the company SOLARGROUP, Sergey Semyonov. Let's watch it. Good afternoon, dear investors, partners. It is December, so it is high time we summed up the results of the year, which is ending in terms of development of project, financing, construction, new partners. I will say a couple of words about how we remember this year, which stage we are at, and which direction we will be moving in. We are finishing the 17th stage. It's been quite a long stage. It's lasted for almost a year. 3 more stages are left. According to the plan, according to our preliminary expectations, by the end of 2024, we will be developing this project. And the end of construction of the enterprise and commissioning of it don't mean that the project ends. To my mind, it's only the beginning. I sometimes think when we started all of it 5 years ago, thinking that we would get to this point, imagining it in such details, I did not manage to, because I had never done it before, and I'm very happy to now have this experience, and for the team to have this experience. A huge thank you to all of you, to all the investors, partners, SOLARGROUP team, Sovelmash team, Sasha, cameraman, everyone, builders. I want to remind you that the Sovelmash project is not only about construction. We film a lot of content about the construction. There is a lot shown about the construction, because it is a very important and labor-intensive stage. And this is our face, our showcase. People started to treat our project seriously. They started to treat it as a big enterprise. Maybe you've noticed there are really few haters, and those who do hate the project, they are not very serious people. What is the partners' attitude to us? Partners in terms of our future clients, customers, partners who will help us develop our business abroad. Yesterday we discussed some issues with Dmitriy Duyunov. We can already consider that the project is international, not in terms of raising funds, but in terms of development of the project. We are starting to work on creating local production facilities. We discussed India, we invited a person from there for January, and we are planning to perform such work in Vietnam as well. Investment continues to arrive, despite the fact that the year has been quite intense quite full of different events, both negative, we can call them like that, the ones that prevented the project from developing, that were due to political forces, but there were positive ones as well. We were moving on. Investment projects were closing all over the world, construction sites were closing, big initiatives were interrupted. Us, however, we were moving ahead. We were developing. We did not reduce the tempo, and we actually increased the tempo in terms of construction. I was really impressed. I spent 3 months on a business trip in Asia. We had conferences there. Then I have come here. The general contractor has changed. It's a very different quality of work. The amount of work performed is just incredible. The thermal concha of the building has been closed. We're here and it is warm, it is great. And you can carry out further work, despite the fact that it is winter in Russia. Now, as for Solar Group, we are continuing to develop national representations. We are continuing to develop our IT platform. In 2023, we will start preparing for IPO of the company. We will enter a more reliable and a more protected legal field. Not all of the investors will be able to become shareholders, investors from abroad, but we will provide you with different options. We have also created the prototype of an internal exchange. We are now preparing for it. When we weigh all the risks, we will announce the date of launch, the form of launch, how all of that will be done. Despite the fact that we are nearing the end of construction, despite the fact that we are nearing the end of financing, it doesn't mean that the project is finishing. We will continue international expansion. We will create more projects abroad. We will become a fully fledged big corporation, an international one, where each person taking part in it will have a share all over the world. And the end of construction of the Design and Technological Bureau is not the end of the project. It is a beginning of a new story, which will concern all of us all over the world. So good luck to all of you and thank you so much. And have a new year. Let's say thank you to Sergey for his presentation, and we are moving on. And before getting to the latest achievements of Sovelmash, I suggest remembering as usual, what we are doing and what we can really be proud of. Let's speak about the way we have already covered. And first of all, let's remember, what is Duyunov's Modus project? The project Duyunov's Modus is a project to promote the technology of combined windings Slavyanka or the global market. And this technology today allows the engineering team of Dmitriy Duyunov to design electric motors of a new generation based on the technology of combined windings Slavyanka. To make a fully fledged business out of it, we need capacities, and we are creating these very capacities within the project Duyunov's Motors. Right now, with the money of private investors, an innovative enterprise, Design and Technological Bureau Sovelmash, is being constructed, where Dmitriy Duyunov's team will design electric motors for different clients and customers. And of course, to realize such a project, we need investment. And in our case, investment is raised by a method of crowdfunding, crowd investing, from an unlimited number of small and medium investors. It means that you can take part in this project and obtain a share in the business that is being created in front of your eyes. When we said that, when we announced that financing was about to start, we saw a lot of interest from a big number of people from very different countries. People were interested in that. And after the first month, after the start of financing, we managed to hold the first conference, where 250 people were participating, only 1 month after we started work. Thanks to that support, we managed to form infrastructure straight away that allowed us to raise funds effectively from an unlimited number of people, such as back office, transparent legal scheme, and convenient ways of topping up your account in the back office from anywhere you are in the world. And it all worked, together with a big idea, with an interesting business. We started our project very quickly, and we started to fulfill the tasks we were to fulfill. And the first task was creating a laboratory in Zelenograd, on the territory where now the company Sovelmash is renting areas. It is an innovative laboratory. It already allows Sovelmash to do its direct activities, that is, design, develop electric motors, produce pilot pre-production batches of such motors in order to compare them to competitors, to create analogs of a better quality, and also to show the results to potential customers and clients. And now the company Sovelmash is doing it successfully, and it is happening thanks to such a laboratory. I want to note that it is not just equipment. Even if it is innovative, I want to highlight that this laboratory has been attested by the state, so the results that it shows now, they are officially accepted all over the world. We can refer to them and show them to anyone who wants it. Of course, the main task of our project was the construction of the main enterprise, the innovative center Sovelmash. And this is what Dmitriy Duyunov's team was working on over all the previous years. Before starting the construction, we were to select the place, the location for that enterprise, and we did that. It is the territory of a state special economic zone, Technopolis, Moscow. It is a site which was created by the state to help develop different innovative projects, such as ours. And to get the permission to construct the building on the territory of the special economic zone, we had to become residents of that special zone. The competition was very hard. It is one of the most advanced and innovative special economic zones of the country. We went through very thorough selection process, and thanks to the support of the state and administration of the site, the zone itself, the Special Economic Zone Technopolis Moscow, we managed to become residents of it. And I want to congratulate you on that once again. Of course, being residents in such a special economic zone gives a lot of advantages to our project. First of all, it is land to construct the building. We obtained it for free from the state, and we can buy it out for 1% of its cadastral value right after the building is fully commissioned, constructed and commissioned. We also have a lot of fiscal benefits, and the money that you did not give as taxes and legally, you can consider it as your profits. So not only the company Sovelmash can count on this profit to help it develop, but also people who are investing in the project today. Another big advantage is that we can use all the infrastructure of the special economic zone. Roads, railways, electric power lines. We don't have to invest in it. We can call it support of our project by the government. After we did that, we started to prepare the site for construction very actively. And in parallel, the building itself, it was to be approved by different state authorities, and we went through those commissions successfully. We obtained the permission to construct the building. We went through all the state commissions. Consumer Rights Protection Agency, they all approved. After that, we obtained the permission from the state to construct our building. What happened afterwards? I'm sure that many of you know that and remember that. We started the main construction work almost immediately. At first, some people did not see the results of the work because the building was not growing. We were to make the pit, to lay the foundation, which is a very important part of any building. But as soon as the winter finished, we started to install metal structures. I want to note that metal structures were produced by the leader, the European leader of production and installation of metal structures, the Astron company, which underlines once again that we only work with the best. And we saw straight away how the building started to grow upwards. We understood its volume, we understood the scale of construction. It is 17,000 square meters of area, where there will be warehouse, production and administrative facilities. When the metal structures were installed, we started assembling the roof, interfloor partitions, lift shafts, stairs. After that, the builders started to install the walls, the windows. Now all this work has been completed. It has been performed. If we look at the building now, it doesn't look like a construction site. It rather looks like a working enterprise. Despite the fact that most work is completed, there are still construction works ahead of us. Now we are solving very important tasks on the construction side. And now I want Aleksandr Sudarev to speak about this in more detail and also about other achievements of Sovelmash. Let's watch it and let's assess what we have managed to do. Good afternoon, dear investors, partners, participants of the project. Today we are watching the final conference of the year 2022, which is finishing. And now it is time to show you something from Sovelmash. Now we are in the Design and Technological Bureau, where the construction is in full swing. If my memory serves me right, we're now next to a canteen. This is the warehouse. The work is being performed at a very high tempo. Metal structures are still being assembled. Interroom wall panels are fixed to them. The work is being performed at a very high pace. And yesterday, the panels which are on the right from me, they were not assembled. They were piled up just like these ones. They were waiting for their star hour. And of course, all of that means that the stage of readiness of the building for acceptance of production capacities and, receiving the employees who will work with that, this readiness is increasing, not every day, but every hour. Quite many crews are working here. Many people who work on installation and who are working on their own tasks, external utilities, internal utilities, and the frameworks that we have been talking about. Now, flooring work will continue. The final part is left on the ground floor of the production part and the warehouse part. Let's now speak about the processes happening on the leased areas right now, because work is in full swing there as well. For that we will need to get there. There are more and more rooms here. We see the entry group, the one-floor annex building, the number of inter-room panels which are piled up is decreasing. They are sorted out, checked for defects, and then it is defined which panel will go where and installation itself happens. Let's move a little bit. Cameraman will now show you what is behind these walls. The transformers are there, 4 of them. They are already inside the building. They are on their spots that were created for installing them there. And a moment will come very soon when they will be connected, and it means that the building will be supplied with energy by its permanent scheme. That's very important. Let's now move closer to the testing lab, to the place where it will be situated in the future, and let's look what is going on there. We're entering another gate, and now we find ourselves on the territory of the production site, where motors will be produced, where they will be assembled. It is an assembly shop. We see a wall straight away, a wall which separates the testing lab. The eco-free chamber will go inside now. And the most important thing, look, these pallets where there is equipment and the motors and many other things. Even some exhibits from the International Forum Army. And it means that quite a big portion of equipment of motors has been transferred from temporary areas here to the territory of the Design and Technological Bureau. As for the next bit of information, let's learn it inside the laboratory. Here it is, the door to the laboratory. The doors are being selected now, they will be bought very soon. Work is performed to create the access system, magnet cars and physical locks. Everything which is inside the building will be well protected from strangers. We are in the laboratory and we hear the echo. The volume of the laboratory is much bigger than what we have on the leased areas. The erection truss is installed. It will still be needed. The equipment itself will be installed. The truss will be welded. It is now composed of 2 parts. And the room looks ready. As for the flooring, it will be performed in dielectric mode to increase the level of security and precision of the instruments, but something is lacking here. Life is lacking, equipment is lacking here. But I have good news for you. As we already understood from the previous phrases, there is full demobilization of the areas, leased areas, which means that before the end of 2022, we are planning to transfer the testing laboratory where it belongs on the territory of the Design and Technological Bureau in this very room. Head of the testing laboratory will be able to deploy fully here. And new possibilities will open. This is work with more voluminous motors. Equipment for that will be placed here. It is high precision of the measurements taken. It is already precise, but there are some difficulties that we have to face, like electronic interferences and so on. Now, getting back to transformers that we have just mentioned, thanks to them, it is a kind of a load substation, so there won't be any interferences here. No noise, nothing. Now, behind this wall, there is an eco-free chamber. Tests will be carried out there. Vibration, noise tests. All of that will be certified, of course. And there will be a full range of testing needed to the Design and Technological Bureau Sovelmash for further work and commercialization. It will be implemented in full volume here. I congratulate all of us on that. And of course, we need to understand that not only the laboratory is being transported here, Other capacities as well, they are demobilized. And it is important to say that equipment, machines, casting machines, and the pilot and production part of the building where they slays equipment will soon be transported here as well. Now the cameraman will show to you what is already in the Design and Technological Bureau. After that, we will have a look at some imagery from the leased areas, temporary areas, what it looks like, the process of moving, and then we'll talk more. And now we have moved to the administrative and utilities building, the first floor. Work continues with the internal utility lines. Electric networks are laid. And soon, installation of water supply will begin. Please look. Sockets are installed everywhere. In the rooms themselves. Cables are laid, commutation boxes are installed. Then ventilation equipment will be mounted as well. There is quite a lot of work to do. The second floor. Installation of interim partitions is going on there as well. The process is quite serious. If we now go outside, I think that our cameraman will show that work continues in terms of ground on the territory of the site. The remaining plates of the temporary road are being dismantled to the left of the building and in front of the main entrance. Why to the left of the building? Work continues to create a commutation box where cold water will be supplied to the building. In front of the main entrance, the plates are being removed to start groundwork to connect the central canalization. Beyond site groundwork means connecting to the thermal unit. You have already seen it many times. the trench that was reinforced, backfill with sand was performed, subconcrete work was completed on the areas where it was necessary, troughs were put there, and now installation of the pipes themselves has started. Welding of the seals, connecting of the compensator, because when the pipes, the metal, expands and contracts depending on the temperature, because you know the pipe system will be functioning, will be operating for everything to work normally. A collector has already been drilled, to which it will be connected, and then very little will be left to do. To weld, to connect all the sensors that will allow us to exclude any failures in the system. And in case they do occur, to respond to that very quickly. So honestly, I feel dizzy with everything which I can see. I could talk to you for hours about what is happening here, but well, let's finish. Let's be finishing. I can just tell you that on list areas, they work with patents, new patents are obtained. Work is performed in terms of customers. Technological equipment is developed. They are machines for drawing slot insulation, for angle grinders, for the inability to drive, for hand tools, electric tools. A lot of interesting things going on in Sovelmash. And let's finally get to the main point. Let's give the floor to Dmitriy Duyunov. Good afternoon, dear participants of the project. Good afternoon, investors. Good afternoon, all those who are not indifferent to the project, or those who are following our project. Good afternoon, all of you. 2022 is nearing its end. Since the project started, 5 years have passed. Is it a lot, or is it not? Maybe we need to count it not in years, but in what has been done. Over these years, we have covered a long way. From total lack of faith to what you now see behind me. You see with your own eyes that there is work in full swing on the Sovelmash site. A lot has been done, not in words, but in acts. Everything that we see, where we are, it is the money, investors' money, which obtained this material form. It is a very good example of what human will can achieve. Will reinforced with resources. We did that. Together with this year, the 70th stage is also nearing its end. 3 more stages are left. How is the stage different? It is the longest of all that had been before. How different is it from all the previous stages? It was a turning point. No one, almost no one has any doubt now that this facility will come true, that it is already there, that despite everything, despite anything, it is being implemented by the will and by the force and energy of many thousands of people. There is no big capital in this project. The capital that was supposed to be there, they said. Because it did not happen the way it was supposed to. It is happening the way we are doing it. We are opening a way for new projects. Because something which has already been done, the way which has been made, is easier to follow, is easier to step on. And there have been many things on this way. There have been errors. There has been vision. There have been many things, but the most important thing is that no one committed strategic mistakes. And what we can now see, what you can now see behind me, is not just material, it's not just equipment, and it is not all the equipment which has already been bought. Some of it is being stored now. The material which you can see now, by the end of the year, by the 1st of January, it won't be there anymore. It will all be used for installation, for assembly. All of that will be done. And it seems that all the risks are behind. But we don't have a time machine. We cannot look in the future. However, we must foresee, just like before, how the situation will evolve. Being participants of the project, being residents of the Technopolis Moscow, observing from the inside how projects are implemented, we see one very serious thing. When projects being implemented here, they did not pay due attention to buying equipment in good time, and now some of the projects have already constructed their buildings, but they cannot launch it, they cannot commission it, because they don't have the necessary equipment. Why? Due to the sanctions. Sanctions play their role. We cannot neglect them. There will be that sanction pressure in the future as well. We must foresee it. We must foresee everything that may happen. What else would I like to say? Despite the fact that the facility has not yet been built, today, an example of the angle grinder with our development, with the inbuilt motor, today is going to go to China, and I really congratulate you on that. Now they're working on producing fittings in China. They're working on the first pre-production batch. The Chinese business is already getting involved in it. Fittings of the equipment, casting molds, all of that is done with the Chinese investors' money. The enterprise that Viktor Arestov created together with the Chinese, his motors, his practice, his experience, his work, all of that allowed the Chinese business to make sure that all of that is real. And that person started to get involved in our project. Something incredible has been done. Something that people did not believe in. Something which was not supposed to happen, still it is there. And if we look at these events, we will see that, well, the angle grinder is not something that big, that significant. However, such angle grinders with such a drive, they just do not exist in the world. They're not there. There are no angle grinders that would work with regular electrotechnical steel with 600 Hz. Such indicators have not been achieved in the world, and now it is very important to produce the first pre-production batch with the help of our partners to make it certified and to start producing it with our common effort before this facility is commissioned. As for this building, we could have commissioned it much earlier. However, we adapt to the situation. We receive certain sums of money and we act accordingly. In the last months, in these last stages, you have seen some negative processes which were happening. It was due to the fact that Russian investors had already paid their installments. Those who were involved in the project, the participants, they could not invest anymore. That is why Solar Group performed work in Asia, in Southeastern Asia, that is India, and other countries like Vietnam. And these countries responded well to the project. But then the following issues and the following risks arise. People who are entering the project, they need to understand the project and see the prospect of their participation. Of course, you can continue the work slowly, just the way it was happening before we changed the general contractor, before PZMK became one. But then the probability of commissioning the project would have become much lower. Now you all saw what was happening, the dynamic that we had achieved in the last months. What happened engineering-wise? We closed the thermal contour. We completed the reinforced concrete work. The main work, I mean the ramp and the site for putting engineering equipment there. Today we have poured the pit, the hole that was left to us as legacy. This work has been completed. Now there is welding work. Welding of the thermal main. The guys will show it to you. All of that has become possible. But before that, we had used all the reserves. That is why fundraising, raising of additional funds from private investors. It is a gulp of air that the project needs. And this process is being conducted in the interest of all the participants of the project. But we need to understand that those who are going to enter the project now, we need to take care of their interests as well. That is why we took a decision. Number one, not to have the risks that the other projects had, especially on the Pechatniki side. You see the work is going on. They are now installing the panels. The site is a lively organism. We need a buffer for that. That is why we took a decision not to take risks and to increase the total sum of the project from 60 to 70 million in order to prevent the risks, not to allow them to happen, because downtime may be due to different reasons. We have already seen it in other projects. Yes, according to the plans validated by Technopolis, commissioning is for the third quarter of 2023, and we are going to aim for that. However, we will need investment for us to get to maximum capacity. You see already that now we will start production, and we will need current capital for that. So it will be in the interest of everyone, of all the participants of the project. And the time is going to be increased by 1 more year. It will not impact those who enter the project at the first stages, believe me, but finding ourselves in a situation when everything will be ready and just a little bit will be missing is a horrible situation. We want to avoid that. Many projects suffered because of that. The additional money that enters the project and that stays here, I mean, not in the building, and it will become part of the current capital. It will not disappear. It will become part of the registered capital, material and immaterial assets, and it will be privatized and shares will be issued. And the most important thing, we need to understand that we will have the main income from selling the finished products. How much will it cost? You have all seen, I think that you have seen, that now delegations come. Delegations from China, Viktor Arestov. Daniel has not left yet. As for Daniel's enterprise, as for sales, he sells about 1 million of angle grinders per year. Let's now imagine, just 1 minute. Let's imagine that we have 100 rubles from each angle grinder. It is 100 million. Is it a lot or not? Just from one angle grinder. And the drives, they apply to all the other products. It allows to state that if the drive is well implemented and the program that we have planned, then the income we might get is 3 billion. 3-4 billion a year. Is it much or not? And you know, putting it on the scales and putting all of that at risk, I would not do it. And I think that you understand very well that it is 100 rubles, 200 rubles. It is a question of business. We're just speaking about the prospects that we have. And now we're receiving offers. Like, let's not compete on the market, the ones that we tried to speak to normally. And now they're saying, let's not fight, let's not compete, let's do it under our brand. Well, no, the brand will be Sovelmash. It's time to get used to the Russian language, to Russian brands. Of course, when we sell it internationally, we will do it under foreign brands because we don't want to reduce possibilities for us. We will adapt. But here we will promote our own brand. And to finish, I would like to say a simple thing. No one in the world took the risk to create something that we have created. I mean, our project. The angle grinder with an induction drive of such type, with such frequencies. Show me one. They don't exist. There is one BLDC one, made with charging from the network, but the cost of it is more than 60,000 rubles. Who needs that? Who will want it? So, colleagues, I suggest that the next year will be even more productive and will yield even more results. I want to repeat, we don't have a time machine. However, we have not told lies over all these years, and everything that we promised, well, it is here. And we have done even more than what we had promised. And the exhibition, the forum Army 2022, provided us with quite many contacts. I don't want to boast about the contacts that we are now working with. They're just contacts, but I can tell you one thing. Some time ago, I had 8 meetings during one working day. I did not even have time to get from one meeting to another. I had to move between them very quickly. And they are all people interested in the project. Happy New Year! I wish you luck. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your families. You're working for them, for their future. See you soon. I think that this year we will meet again, and myself and Aleksandr will bring you joy with some more news. All the best to you. Let's say a big thank you to Aleksandr Sudarev for such a great video. And let's say thank you to Dmitriy Duyunov for his presentation. I think that now you understand why we are changing the investment stage. Because we have completed the tasks that we had set at stage 17 of development. On the 31st of December, it will be the last day when investment conditions of the 17th stage will be in force, and starting from the 1st of January 2023, we will get to a new development stage, to a new financing stage. What does it mean? It means that investment conditions will change. Investing at stage 17 is much more profitable than doing it at stage 18. At the same time, at stage 18, the investors that will join the project later will also have certain advantages, because at stage 18, it's not only that investment conditions are worse, but risks are lower as well, so everyone decides for themselves, and you can choose what fits you, what suits you. However, if you have already decided to invest in the project, if you are thinking about it, then of course I recommend doing it now, under the conditions of stage 17, while you still have this possibility. Because such profitable conditions for investment will not be there anymore afterwards. Besides, also, apart from the change of the investment stage, we have prepared several promotions for you. The first one that I would like to speak to you about is the lottery promotion. Now, in the back office, when you invest $250, you get one lottery ticket. If you invest for $500, you will get 2 lottery tickets, and so on. The more you invest, the more lottery tickets you have, and the higher the chance is to win in our lottery. All in all, we will draw lots for $25,000, and the winner will receive $15,000 on their account in the back office as investment. I think that it will be a great New Year gift. And other investors will get motivation to top up their balance for a bigger sum of money to win other encouragement prizes. We will have 10 places for winners, places from 2 to 10 will get $1,000. You will find more detailed information in the back office. There is a special button lottery. You can read about that in more detail. Besides, I would like to draw attention to the following. Before the end of stage 17, we're launching an interesting offer for our acting investors, for our existing investors. the investors who have maybe stopped investing, who have maybe forgotten about our project, and now it's high time you increased the investment you had. And for that, we are launching the possibility of increase of investment packages that have been paid for, that have been closed. For example, you had an installment plan, you paid $1,000, your package is fully paid. Now you can increase it up to $2,000 or $5,000. And the new package that you will get will be under the conditions of the discount you invested by before. As if you had the possibility to get back in time, to get back to the past and acquire a bigger investment package. And I think that you have reasons for that. Because today you understand that your decision to invest, it wasn't an accidental one, and it has proven to be correct. So grab this possibility, grab this opportunity. Time for this opportunity is limited. It will be in force until the end of the investment stage. Go to your back office and increase the investment packages you have paid for, you have closed. Friends, and we're going to move on. We watched the video from the heart of the project, from Sovelmash. But there are different people in the world, there are entrepreneurs who have taken the relay of this technology, who are promoting it, and who are building an international business based on that. They are engineers and entrepreneurs that are not just fans of this technology, that are not just experts in it. They can also earn on that. And the first speaker I would like to present is Andrey Lobov, engineer and entrepreneur from Russia. Let's watch it. What results has he managed to achieve? And how has his business developed? Business based on the technology of combined winding Slavyanka. Good afternoon, friends. I'm very happy to see you today. My name is Andrey Lobov. I'm director of the technical cooperation, the company Resurs. I'm installing motors with Slavyanka on different equipment. By global benchmarking 4 years ago, we did the following. In the steel company, we were producing design for Tundra cars. And we came to a conclusion that we needed a good, powerful engine, motor, that would allow us to convert equipment from gas-powered to electric. And so we selected several motors for Tundra cars. By then, the Sovelmash project had already been launched. By then, investors had already raised enough funds. And at the same time, a year after Sovelmash project was launched, the first motor, DA90S, was produced. And of course, we bought it. We wanted to try it. We were eager to try it. And then suddenly we saw that that motor was just amazing. Back then, it showed such amazing results that we installed it on several types of equipment immediately. Maybe you remember the sledge that is kind of self-propelled. We did it for Etnemir Park. I saw for myself how great that motor was. In 6 months of usage, it wasn't overheated, it didn't break down. You know, the sledge had suspension, failed, springs were falling out. Because sometimes there were 10 or more people riding on it. It is about 800 kilos. And this is a small motor, just 10 kilos. The power is 3 kilowatt, and it was coping with all of that very well. After that, we installed that motor on a quadricycle, and our next step was a Husky. The Husky, the electric one, it was a company from the Urals that asked us to provide them with that. It is a natural reserve, it is a lake where you may not use gas-powered equipment. It is strictly monitored by the authorities. Electric motors are different, you know that. Now Chinese BLDC motors are very popular. No doubt, they are very good motors that use neodymium magnets. It is a very expensive material. And of course, these motors also have the right to exist. However, why are our motors better? Because when we test our motors, I come to a conclusion that they are much more economical than BLDC ones. The project where we installed the DA90S motor on a tuk-tuk, on Bajaj Maxima, we installed solar panels there. And when we were moving at a speed of 20 km per hour, 2 solar batteries with a capacity of 600 watt were enough not to use the accumulator. The accumulator was totally disconnected, and our tricycle was moving under the Moscow region sun with a speed of 20 km per hour. If we speak about boats now, boat motors, the boats themselves, solar boats, as of today, such programs are launched in many countries of the world. In one of such countries, we have already seen that. When the Solar Group team and myself, we came to Indonesia, and it was quite recently, a month ago, I was surprised to see how boats were developed there. There are 1,000 islands there, where boats just move around different islands. They transport people. There are millions of fishermen who go fishing, who go to sea for 1 or 2 weeks. And of course, charging the battery at sea will not be possible. It's not like, running up to a shore after you have spent your battery and then you go back. No, it's not possible. So, of course, it is solar energy which should be used there. And solar energy allows not only to charge the accumulator, but we have very economical motors, and it allows to move as well. It is enough to set a particular number of solar panels on a boat which is 12 meters of length, and to calculate its capacity correctly, to use this energy for the rotor of the motor to turn, to rotate, and then you just use it. An hour ago, we had negotiations with people from Indonesia. We had negotiations online devoted to boat motors. Very little time ago, a month ago, I had a meeting with engineers, with Indonesian businessmen who are very interested not only in small power motors but also in very powerful motors. As of today, a very interesting motor, DA95SM, has been produced. It has 4 poles. Its nominal number of rotations is 4,500, which is very economical when you use it with boats. The motor proved to be so good when you replace 9 or 8 horsepower motors with a 5 kilowatt 95 SM motor, and that motor, it is not worse, it is actually better. People who know gas boats well, when they look at the tests, when they take part in those tests, they say that it's not worse at all, and others say that it is actually better. I can tell you one thing. Very soon, we will try to involve specialists, and we will try to install this motor on the most suitable boat. It is a boat which is about 4 meters in length, and its weight allows to transport up to 800 kilos of cargo. Specialists and we will set it up correctly. We will install the motor correctly. It is a question of millimeters. I learned about that little time ago. When the screw gets submerged, related to the boat, when you run tests, it's very important to take millimeters into account, the height itself, how the water moves, how it gets on the screw. All those settings and all those angles are to be performed by a specialist. We just installed a motor on a boat. First it was the emergencies service in Obninsk town, then it was the police in India. We just installed it and we just rid around. We didn't pay any attention to angles, to anything. And even in that case, when the settings were not correct, we just took a boat, just any boat, okay? We say boat, we take it, we install the motor. Even in that case, even after that test, the results were just amazing to my mind. 3 people in a huge boat, 5 meters of length, police boat, upstream in the Ganges River. And you know that the Ganges flows from the Himalayas, from the mountain, and then it just moves into the valley at a huge speed. And we were moving in that boat, the 3 of us, upstream, and we were moving at a very high speed. A 50 horsepower boat, which was moving behind us, could not catch up with us. It was much heavier and much bigger in size. I have run tests. Our team has run tests of boat motors in Russia. It has run boat tests in India as well. There is no one working in this area now. The Chinese produce electric boats that have low power, low capacity. They produce huge numbers of them. But as for powerful motors that we have tested, as of today, I have not seen anything like that anywhere. So everyone who is now watching me, engineers, businessmen, everyone who is now watching this video, please pay attention to that. Alright, I have spoken about boats in India. I have spoken about boats in Indonesia, because we have already managed to show something there. But guys, we have also been to Vietnam, where, to my huge surprise, they have already launched the project Solar Boat. These boats already exist. I have seen photos. A big number of solar panels are already installed there. All the equipment is prepared, inverters and all the cabling. And as of today, they are facing the following problem. They don't have a good motor. The motor that they were planning to install, it turned out to be very weak. And now we are thinking about that, and maybe, it is likely that very soon we will propose such a motor to Vietnam. A motor which has been developed by the Sovelmash company. 4 such motors were produced. It is the size 100. We have already tested 2 of them, and we installed them on cross-country vehicles. And I'm planning to install such a motor on a solar boat. Maybe we will soon show this project to you. I want to draw your attention once again that as of today, boats with solar panels, the so-called solar boats, they are very much in demand in the world. And as of today, we already have a finished product, which we can offer to you for you to test it. And some time ago, our team, the SOLARGROUP team, visited Macedonia. They have a lake there. By its size and by its cleanness, it ranks second in Europe, after Lake Baikal. And on this lake, in Macedonia, the government wants to remove gas-powered transport entirely. They want to remove all gas-powered boats from there. Very little time ago, a week ago, I came back from India, from a conference. I was so impressed. It is a country which reminded me of the Soviet Union. I mean, the tempo of development, It is the tempo of development of the Soviet Union in its best years. I have visited different facilities. They are very clean, very organized, very disciplined. These enterprises produce electric motors in huge quantities. I have visited enterprises, facilities where they produce different spare parts for cars, Volvo and other global brands. As of today, the level of pollution in Delhi is 300 units. I must tell you that you cannot see the sun during the day. You look at it as if through some dark glass, as if it was a yellow spot. It looks like the moon, but it is daytime. It is something you cannot imagine. When we were moving towards the Himalayas to test our motorboat, can you imagine? We were moving to the north in wind and smog for 4 hours. There was smoke around. We could not open the windows and breathe it in. You can only move around with air conditioning. Hotels and buildings, they always have their windows closed and air conditioning. There are no small windows. Windows don't even have leaves or flaps, as they call them. Such an option is not provided. Today in cities like Delhi, Bombay, Mumbai, Pune, it's very difficult to live there. It is horrible pollution. And it made me think how great it is that we work on combined winding motors. With Slavyanka technology, it is great that maybe we will be able to make our contribution into the ecology of countries like India, Vietnam, Indonesia, Africa. There are countries that need ecological topics, ecological solutions today. Maybe some of them don't even understand for the moment what is happening. But I saw it with my own eyes. I saw that land dying. It's not possible to live there, guys. And it will be great if this topic, if our motors get spread there. And I saw interest towards that topic there. For example, we moved from Delhi to Gurugram. It is a Silicon Valley. It is a city where a lot of young people get around from all over the country. They go there to study. Because this is the place where possibilities open, where possibilities come up to enter the best world technological enterprises with a great brand. And there, over a very short period of time, thanks to the fact that the kit Bajaj Maxima had been developed in Russia before that, in a very short time, we installed the same kit in Gurugram on Indian land. We acquired a tuk-tuk of 6th generation with electronics. We removed the gas from it and we installed our electric kit. Guys, that was something spectacular. I was going on a road. I was riding that tuk-tuk on that road. And just for you to imagine, roads there are much bigger than in Moscow. It may be 30 lanes or 20 lanes. Imagine that huge road. And our tuk-tuk was moving on it. It is not lagging behind anything else. It moves very well in the flow, in the current. The average speed is from 40 to 65 kilometers per hour. This is the average speed of moving around cities. And we were on that lane, and we were pretty much moving at the same speed, our filming group, and we were not feeling ill at ease. We were feeling quite comfortable. And I can say with all responsibility that our motors will be in demand very soon. Many people have already responded to it. Many people are interested in it. Now it is only a question of organization, of setting up an enterprise that will be able to produce such kits in India. and present them to businesses under a brand made in India, which is very important. In Gurugram, in the same city, our partner Birdi brought a yellow passenger tuk-tuk to us from a neighboring city. For you to understand, in every state, in every city, several companies produce a multitude of those tuk-tuks. It has been and it is very important for India. They are taxis, it is transportation of cargo, it is moving around. There are many, many tuk-tuks there. We took that yellow passenger tuk-tuk and we installed our DA90S motor in it. We had to modernize the kit a little bit, the kit that we had produced for Bajaj Maxima. But we managed to do that within 2 days. We installed it, we put it in action, and then we made a great video where you can see how I move around to Gurugram, and our filming crew was filming all of that. In Maxima we left the gearbox where you can switch speeds from 1 to 5 for transportation very heavy cargoes. We did not have that need here. That is why we installed a reducer. Thanks to Birdi, that reducer had been installed before us. And the motor for that reducer, DA90S, it had been installed there before us as well. We were only supposed to put other devices, DC-DC converter, the charger, the accumulator, and to do all the cabling, and we did that quite quickly. And then we just used one speed. You don't have the possibility of switching speeds. You only move with one speed, and I understood that when you use such equipment, our motor is not just sufficient, it is actually excessive. I will now speak about the equipment which we showed. Before all those conferences, before the latest news, the company Trinh had developed a lot of equipment that we installed combined winding motors in. It is a yellow motorbike Bajaj Pulsar that, when being tested in Sochi, showed amazing results. A person was moving around it throughout all the winter in the mountains, in Krasnaya Polyana, in the city, in mixed modes. The equipment with the motor DA90S installed can move around with 2 accumulators with the capacity of 3 and 6 kilowatt, and it can run for more than 200 kilometers. That is the distance it can cover. And I would like to speak to you about another very interesting project. It is the go-kart project, which is suspended for the moment due to the reason that we went to Vietnam, Indonesia, India. 2 go-karts, 2 kits, that is what we have developed. We have already tested them in go-kart tracks in Moscow and in Sochi, in Tula as well. And we were told everywhere that these vehicles are ahead of gas-powered analogs in speed, in weights. The kit with the motor DA95SM accelerated the go-kart up to 82 km per hour. I'm sure that you can accelerate it even more. Dear friends, we continue to actively look for partners in different countries that are interested in the technology of combined windings, that want to set up production in their countries, to produce kits, to put them on different equipment. You see my contact details on the screen. Please contact me. I will be very happy to cooperate. Thank you very much, Andrey. And now we are getting to the next speaker. He's also an entrepreneur who is promoting the technology all over the world. And he has been particularly successful in China. You can watch the latest news. This is Viktor Arestov, who the other day visited the construction site of Sovelmash personally. He spoke to Dmitriy Duyunov, and he came together with a big Chinese delegation. Let's watch his presentation, and let's learn what he has managed to achieve and what we will have in the future. Today we continue the final conference of Solar Group, where we take part, where we show videos from Sovelmash as well. And here we have one of the main partners of Sovelmash, Viktor Arestov, a partner who is developing and who is participating in the project in a very active way in China. He has production there, small serious production, motors with the Slavyanka technology, controllers, transport, cars, motorbikes, and many of these things can already be bought. Hello, Victor. Hello. I welcome you here. And I'm happy to be with you. I'm happy that I'm not in China at this moment, but that I'm here with you in Sovelmash directly. I think that many of you have already seen videos where we spoke about why we had come here, where we spoke about our meetings, about our plans. I'm sure that many of you have already seen that part. If you have not, you will be able to do that. I am here and it makes me very happy. I welcome you from our facility, not from China, even though we are going back today. My partner, my Chinese partner, and myself. It will be interesting for participants of the conference to learn about the key events, the key news, maybe some inside information if it is possible. The key events, well, basically it's our arrival, what we came here for. And we can say that it is not just that the Chinese partner arrived to have a look at Sovelmash. I said it last time, it is a three-party meeting. At almost all the meetings of the Chinese partner, you know, they are meetings of their clients. We had meetings not only with Russia, but also with other clients, and they have all been three-party meetings where we were speaking and discussing the possible cooperation, the further cooperation in a three-party way. In what concerns development, that is Sovelmash, further production of it in China, and market of sales in Russia and in the post-Soviet area. This is the main thing. Of course, you understand what we were speaking about. First of all, there are angle grinders that are now being launched into production. We are now taking the first prototype to China to set up production, to make a pre-production batch and to send it here to Sovelmash to start the commercialization process. The second element. We are now preparing the trimming saw. We will not have the time to bring it with us, even though we would like to do that, of course. And these meetings, you know, we had them and the schedule was very tight. Evgeny Duyunov was present at those meetings as well. We visited large companies that are working, that are producing hand tools or electric tools. This is the main area we're working in. As for the news from China, of course, I think many of you have already seen DA95. We're now preparing the third motorbike. The first one was Liberty, serious production of it. Now, Cafe Racer is being produced in series, and another motorbike is being prepared that we will soon show to you. It is the main news. But again, the main reason and what we came here for, this is work on our main project, hand tools, and development of not only production, but also commercialization of it. All these meetings, they were mostly devoted to meeting the final clients, the end customers, dealers and trade partners. You are speaking about Sovelmash clients, right? Potential clients. Absolutely. It's not only work between Sovelmash and China. All the Chinese partners. You know, the plant is big, and it has enough clients. And the fact that the plant is interested in presenting our technology, in, highlighting its advantages and singling itself out, because for them it is also a question of market access. The more technologies they show, the more they show that they work with the technological center, with our Design and Technological Bureau, the better it is for them. And they acquire their clients, but at the same time, these clients become ours. I have already said that when we hold meetings with those companies, there is a big interest shown towards the technology, and all the focus, all the attention is drawn to us, to Sovelmash, and to the technology of combined windings, to the motors, because everyone is surprised. How is it possible to use induction motors in hand tools of such a size? Great. I think that our viewers today will be really eager to hear about the plans. Maybe it is near future, maybe we can speak about plans which are for the longer run. I have already voiced the main plans. It is opening of production. All the 3D models have already been transferred. When we had a meeting on the 7th, we were speaking about some changes in the design of plastic. Our colleague, our partner from the Chinese side, saw some modifications that need to be introduced. And these modifications will surely be introduced. Here are the plans, opening the production. Now the fittings production will be launched. These fittings have already been ordered partially. Their orders and status, because they don't change. There was a little delay in terms of plastic material because the controller is designed, they were modified. This is the main thing. The next plan. Firstly, as for the angle grinder, we were planning to launch it at the end of the year, but then the end of the year has actually come imperceptibly. So we are planning to launch it until the end of the Chinese New Year. So we will launch the production of angle grinders and the pre-production batch will be sent here. Next, trimming saw. We are now running experiments. We are now developing it. This is the near future, right? Yes. And all these plans concern Sovelmash. What concerns you? Of course, many people are interested in the news of my company, but I think that this news is much more important. And for me, it is a higher priority, because I have not yet come here with my motorbikes. I think that now many people understand it in a clearer way that Victor is the main participant of the project. And first of all, he's working on Sovelmash development. Yes. And this is why I come here, and this is why we had meetings in Sovelmash. This is why clients came to see the Chinese partner. It is like a closed triangle. The developer, the producer, and the final client, the customer. We will be able to do part of the work in Sovelmash. However, we need to connect ourselves to networks which are already there. As for sales of tools, well, we need to connect to people who work in that segment of the market, not to catch up with the market afterwards. But we do this work in an advanced way, well ahead of when it will happen. We already want to have clients waiting for the products. As Dmitriy Duyunov often says in his addresses, Sovelmash does not do import replacement. It develops the technologies proactively, ahead of the others. And to my mind, your work is so precious, because informing potential clients and customers of the final products. Honestly, it is amazing. Thank you very much. It is done thanks to you. Thank you. I think that many of our viewers, participants of the conference, partners, investors would like to know, can they get in touch with you directly to acquire cars, equipment, motorcycles, kits, motors with controllers, maybe motors separately? How does it work? We are constantly establishing these contacts. People get in touch with me, and it's true that we sell motors, kits. Sometimes they ask us to provide kits with all the cabling for the controllers to be prepared for specific purposes. If it is a motorcycle, then a motorcycle, or a boat, a tuk-tuk. And we get together, we assemble those kits and send them to the final customer. They are private entrepreneurs who want to promote and to develop this area in their country, in their city, in their town. So many are already producing their motorcycles. Some people are making boats. They know the steam company that offered a lot of different equipment. It is work, but not with companies, rather with privates. And you can see my contact details here. This work is done. Please get in touch with me. Get in touch with my company. And we will be able to solve all the issues. And to promote not only these motors, but your business as well. For you to develop and to take part in setting up this business for yourself. Thank you very much. I think that the information has been really exhaustive. I want to remind you that today we have a very tight schedule. We'll have several meetings. Thank you very much for your attention. All the best to you. And I hope that this year we have performed a lot of work, and hopefully the next year will be even more productive. See you soon. All the best to you. And thank you very much for your trust. For your trust in developing this Sovelmash technology. Good luck. See you soon. Thank you very much, Victor, for your presentation. I want to say once again that I'm sure that the news have made you happy. And it has shown how the technology is being promoted, step after step, towards the objectives fixed. And I would like to move on. And now I would like to speak about financing of the project, about its results, and about the company SOLARGROUP. I think that you remember that SOLARGROUP is a financial company. It is a financing company of a new generation. We work on the market of crowd investing. SOLARGROUP unites private investors that are interested in investing into innovative business projects and business projects themselves, which require such investment. SOLARGROUP makes investment accessible, thanks to IT infrastructure, thanks to payment services that allow to top up your balance in a convenient way, thanks to transparent and clear legal scheme, thanks to client support in many languages of the world. We give access to investment to those who did not have such access before. And we think that one of the main success criteria for SOLARGROUP is not just that we give people the possibility to earn, but also that we give people the possibility to support innovative technologies that make our lives better. And answering the question how to assess whether the scheme is effective or not, is it the business model which is correct, which is the right model to have, is it interesting for people to invest into it? Of course, figures will speak better than anything else. And right now I suggest that we look at these figures. As of today, the project Duyunov's Motors has raised more than $52 million of funds. This is the money that we physically received from people. And we received it. 1,000 investors from different countries, from different continents. They are the people who voted for this project with their money. All in all, currently, there are more than 400,000 people participating in the project. They are people who are signed up in the back office. And I'm sure that they will turn from just observers, just people who are interested, they will turn into investors more and more actively, which we see all the time. Of course, we have another very important group of people. They are active people. They are people who achieve the result that we have to a very big extent. They are our partners. Currently, we have 15,000 active partners. They are the partners who earn money with us, not just those who signed a partner agreement or who said, I want to be a partner. No, they are people who do get a referral fee and who promote our project daily. I would also like to say that our investors have already acquired 70,000, even more, 70,000 investment packages. And they have acquired 26,800,000,000 investment shares. It is a big number. I remember that many people were interested in this number. Now we are saying it openly. And you can even see some dynamics each time we share figures, in terms of shares and other figures which are important for you to know. A big team is working on this result, a big SOLAR Group team that is working like a well-oiled machine. Often these people work at the weekend, on days off, when an official working day finishes, because they are people who are truly interested in the result. And I think that these figures confirmed my words. Today's SOLAR Group comprises the following departments: marketing and content, commercial department, IT department, client service department, legal, financial departments. All of it allows us to be very active, to carry out many activities in different countries. To give more weight to my words, I have gathered some interesting statistics for 2022. For example, in 2022, the company SOLAR Group held, just imagine, 993 webinars and live broadcasts, including this one. I was myself very surprised with this figure, and they were held in 24 countries, in 15 languages. But we don't only meet online. We often see each other at different meetings and conferences, and in 2022, our partners and us, we have held 275 live offline meetings that were attended sometimes by several dozens of people, sometimes by hundreds of people. And I'm now only speaking about offline meetings. I'm not taking into account conferences. As for big conferences like the one we had in Moscow or in Vietnam, India, recently, we have held 11 such conferences over the year. 11. Investors are now getting verified to confirm their data. Verification is confirmation of these live people who did not just sign up, but people who are being active. They get verified to receive the shares of the company in the future. And in 2022, as of mid of December, we have verified 45,000 people in 2022 alone. And it is just a small part of this work. I have highlighted a very small part of it to show you some figures, to show you how much has been done within just 1 year. And I want to say thank you to all SOLAR Group team for you to always do what you can, and even when deadlines are very tight, even when you have a lot of tasks to do. I have never heard any employee saying it's my day off, I cannot. Everyone says, okay, we have to do it, we will do it, which is a great indicator. And you have seen that in the second half of the year, 2022, we were very active. Speaking of our offline visits, and for example, to prepare a conference in Moscow, there are dozens of people involved in it. And then people come and say, okay, that was a great conference, I loved it. And other people just, remove sweat from their forehead and say, thank God we had the time to do it in the very last moment. In the last 6 months, we had big conferences in Moscow, and it was very special because we invited people from the core of the project. We showed the construction site, and everyone could see what they invest in. Besides, many managers of SOLAR Group went to big events that we held in Vietnam, in Indonesia, in Bulgaria, in Macedonia, in India. I attended those conferences as well. Pavel Filippov, Pavel Shatsky, Andrey Lobov, Sergey, Semyonov, and other people that you know, and that we are always happy to listen to and that always provide valuable feedback. These conferences were attended by hundreds of people. We already feel the effect of those conferences. I'm very happy that in all the countries, halls were full of people, which means that interest towards the project does not go down, it increases year on year. There were people we knew already, there were some new faces as well. I'm very happy that we have this big community all over the world. Apart from public events, we have also held many private events, many meetings with different business angels that can invest big sums of money, and working groups with our partners, where we discussed how we would develop the region, which mistakes are to be rectified, what is to be implemented, for work to be even more smooth and effective. We have visited our new office, SOLARGROUP office in Vietnam, and our Vietnamese colleagues promised to open many more offices in Vietnam, dozens of them. We discussed opening offices in other countries. SOLARGROUP is now working more fundamentally, in a more solid way, in different countries, to achieve even higher results. And I'm really happy that we did not only meet with partners, with investors, but also with many people who are interested in the technology itself. They were asking us questions, how to buy an electric motor, how to become a dealer, maybe to represent some companies, some enterprises, and so on. We saw many people interested in the technology Slavyanka, interested in it, in their respective countries. Andrey Lobov has spoken about that extensively today. I will not repeat his words. It confirms people's interest not only in investment, not only in participation in this business, but also in setting up joint business based on Slavyanka technology. I would like to highlight that as well. Some of you may ask, why are we doing it at all? Why are we building this infrastructure? Why are we opening offices? Why are we getting teams together? The project is at a final stage. And in 6 months or in 12 months, we will just quit each other. Of course not. We need it now to finance the project more actively, to have enough funds. It is for this reason that we hold all these activities, and all these activities pay back, by the way. Somebody asked us a question some time ago. Okay, you hold all these conferences, what is your result? I think that at the end of the year we will provide you with a detailed publication, we will provide you with more figures for you to understand, but think for yourself. For example, we hold a little meeting. It may cost not that much. It is just rental of the hall, transport, expenses, rental of equipment, let's say $1,000. Several dozens of people have arrived, and even if one person invests $1,000, $3,000 or $5,000, they will pay back. They will pay off the investment that we have made. So, everything pays back. We see that everything gives us very positive results. And there is also the result which cannot be measured. We have spoken to many partners in different countries that worked with SOLARGROUP but not that actively before. But after we visited them, after we went to the conference, they said, okay, now we are going to stay with you forever. And I think that in the mid-run, it will also bring its fruit. Okay, we need it now to finish financing, but besides, we create this infrastructure for the future as well. Yes, the project Duyunov's Motors is at a final stage, but other projects will follow and SOLARGROUP will invest in new investment projects. And I'm sure that these projects will be related to Slavyanka technology, because personally I love it a lot. I think that this project is really promising. If we have the possibility to expand this business, and if we need private investors for that, then I would participate in that gladly, being an investor, a partner, and not only. And of course, SOLARGROUP is looking for other promising technologies, other promising projects. And as soon as financing of this one finishes, investors and partners of SOLARGROUP will be able to take part in new projects straight away. So if you follow us, if you do it attentively, because, you know, when we just announce the conditions of a new project, you will be able to enter it under the best conditions, as a partner and as an investor. This is why we are building this infrastructure, for it to allow us to work for many years. And of course, for investors and for partners to take part in our future projects, they need to earn on the current one, Duyunov's motors. And now there are many possibilities in our projects to earn. First of all, it is the partnership program, where you can earn right now, here, by promoting our project. It is also the possibility to sell shares of Sovelmash in the future, that you are getting to sell part of the business, and of course getting dividends from profits that Sovelmash will distribute among its investors as well. But there are people who are not ready to wait for several years before they get dividends. They want to earn more quickly, here and now. And for such investors, we will have the possibility of participation in the internal exchange. It is a very popular question. People often ask, what will the internal exchange be like? When will it be launched? And we have already shown this functionality, the functionality of the internal exchange at our conferences, but it was rather in a closed format. And now I would like to show you what the internal exchange will look like. And now on your screens, you see its functionality. You can see that it will be built in our back office. And this internal exchange will allow you, the existing investors, the acting investors who have investment shares, to sell your investment shares at a more expensive price than the price you are buying them at now. You see that it is quite simple. The process is pretty much like what we have now. Instead of investment section, we have the exchange section, and it means that the new people who will come and who will buy from you, from the existing investors, people who will buy investment shares from you, they will be able to understand it very quickly. There won't be this barrier, because some people get scared, an internal exchange, it sounds difficult. No, in our case, we try to make it as simple as possible. And I'm sure that not only private investors will take part in this internal exchange. We consider that big capital will also take part in this internal exchange. Institutional, professional investors who are not ready to enter the project at the current stage when risks are quite high. However, when the project has proven to be effective, when the enterprise has been commissioned, when it starts generating the first profits, of course it is a totally different stage of the business. And big capital will be ready to enter the project at that stage. They will be ready to acquire part of the enterprise. And you, those who will have the shares, you will be able to sell them to anyone who will want it. So, we believe in the success of the internal exchange, and we will publish this video separately for each of you to be able to look at all the functionality of the internal exchange with care and to get prepared for its start. And the start of the internal exchange will happen right after the end of financing of the project. Of course, all these results would have not been possible without the partners, without the active people who in different countries reach there where we would not have been able to reach using classical advertising, without understanding the specificity of the market. And it produces its result, it yields its fruit. We continue to improve partners' work, we continue to implement different novelties for work with us to be even more profitable, easier, more interesting, yielding more results. And now I would like to give the floor to Alisa Kuznetsova, head of Partners Network, who will tell us what has been done for partners in 2022 and what we are planning to do in 2023 for you, for the partners. Dear colleagues, dear partners, hello. I'm very happy to see all of you today. And in my short presentation, I would like to tell you what tasks, tools and projects we have created and implemented this year for our partners, for the partner network, for all the partner community, for each partner to work in an easier, more effective way and to earn more money, of course, and to share plans for the next year. This year we have had many different tasks to solve of different scale, of different complexity, but each one of them, to my mind, is relevant and in demand. I will now briefly remind you which projects they have been and which tasks they have been. This year we have created and implemented the knowledge base. It is like an encyclopedia which comprised all the information in terms of 4 blocks: the project, the company, the partnership business, and FAQs, frequently asked questions and answers provided, of course. It is like a reference book that both a newcomer and an experienced partner may refer to and update the information they have, or get all the introductory information in a simple and accessible form and start using it in their work. We have also created and implemented methodology. It is an educational course for our partners that shows all the working process from the start to scaling up our big team. Methodology was created based on practical experience of our partners and global benchmarking. It comprises different life hacks, debriefing of cases, scenarios of conversations, and so on, starting from how to make a new sale, a repeated sale, how to work with delayed payments, and so on, and all the important things which each partner encounters in their everyday work. Apart from that, we moved even further and we decided to create a series of videos, lessons from experts, where in the format of videos, in these 3 or 5 minute videos, we discuss a topic with our experts, something which is relevant in your work. It is all realized in the back office and it is accessible for you to use. This year we have also updated the marketing plan. We have added the 6-step president, and this year we have 8 new presidents. I wish to all of you who want to achieve the same top level and to start earning as much money as is possible with us, with the SOLARGROUP team, in the framework of the partnership program, I wish you to reach that very soon. The update of the marketing plan required also updating of presentation materials. We updated them not only in the PDF format, but we have also created 3 videos about partnership business and 2 videos about the project, in analog format and in graphic format. I think that it facilitates work a lot, because you can just send a video to a person, they will watch it, and then they will be provided with answers, or maybe they will have more specific and relevant questions, which will allow you to have a conversation with them and to continue a dialogue, for them to convert from a potential client to a real participant in the project. We have also paid attention to the news for the partnership community. We tried to make it more various, more interesting, more engaging, and touching on different topics. This year we have created 56 partnership stories that will all become part of the success book, and it is a storytelling tool which allows to have an emotional impact on clients and allows each of you to appropriate your achievements and to share them with all the other partners, for everyone to be able to find advice, energy, force, inspiration in that story. So it is a very big, meticulous work which targets the whole partnership community, which is possible thanks to participating of you, our partners. This year we have also updated the tool which is called Gift to a Friend. We used feedback which we received from you. We reinforced this tool. We replaced the bonus. The investment share was replaced with real money. Now each partner, when they send an invitation and a reference link with a gift, can get money and use it, just like the person who that gift was sent to. And it shows great results in terms of people being active. This year we had the task to create a promotion system. There were 3 promotions. All the 3 were targeting different aims. Business Shark promotion was targeting the increase of an average check of sales. One package, 1%. It is a promotion that was targeting increase of the overall number of sales. And of course, partner race promotion that you love so much, that motivates to go up the career ladder, which focuses attention on different working processes for the partner. Apart from that, we have opened new offices. We now have offices in Kazakhstan, the second office in Vietnam, and in Benin. What would I like to say about the plans for the next year? Of course, we are planning to continue the work we started. Of course, it is not stopping. It is moving on. It is expanding. We do our best to help each of you as much as we can in support, in development, and in reinforcing the partnership network. Besides, next year, we're planning to add more education, not only online but offline, to have offline trainings. Apart from that, we're planning to open new offices next year. We have already started, and we will scale it up further, work in terms of creating leadership councils. They are groups of top leaders in each region or in each country that help the company in planning strategic development of the business, that help the company in improving work in the region. And we have planned a lot of active work in terms of communicating with these leadership councils. And next year, we will update the partnership section. I have seen it in the demo version. It looks very beautiful. It looks very clear, intuitively, and I'm sure that each of you will like it. Because it is very simple to work in it. Everything is at hand. These are the main things which I could get together and share with you. We have many plans. I really want us to become more numerous, and I want each of us to become richer. It is our common cause. And when business develops well on the side of partners, the company prospers as well. When the company prospers, it can do much more for each partner to feel even better. And I want to wish you luck. I want to wish you more energy to continue and not to doubt yourself. But the opposite. The company does its best for everything to happen quickly, efficiently, and successfully. Thank you very much, Alisa. And I would like to say thank you to all the active partners from different countries that are working together with us, that are promoting the project Duyunov's Motors. Thank you for your work, and please remember that our project, of course, would not have achieved such results without you. And you can be really proud of that. I'm sure that our cooperation, which is a win-win for you, for us, will not last 1, 2, or 3 years. It is cooperation for the entire life. So please remember that you will be working with us for many years to come. And I'm sure that it will be mutually profitable. I would also like to remind you of an action that any of you can make, and thus you can make closer the end of financing of the project. Of course, I'm speaking about liking this broadcast, reposting it, sharing the link to this broadcast with your friends, putting it in groups that you are in, and also putting it in social networks. All of it will help attract audience to our broadcast. I'm sure that you all want it, for as many people as possible to know about the project Duyunov's Motors. You can make this simple single action, but imagine if each of you does it now. You will make your contribution to accelerating the financing. Let's move on. I would like to say that a crucial part of Sol Group company is our IT platform that allows to attract investment from an unlimited number of people. It is the platform that you're working with, some of you daily, others from time to time. It is our back office. And now this back office is the one we can be proud of. It is the back office which has been created using the most modern programming languages. And I would like our IT director, Vitaliy Averyanov, to speak about our platform in more detail. Let's listen to him. Friends, hello everyone. To finish the current year, Of course, we all sum up the results, what we have managed to do, and the most important thing, what we will be able to do in the next year, in the new year. This year, our IT team has really done a lot. We started the year with rebooting our internal system entirely, our website, our back office, and now under the hood, in this engine that helps us work and interact with the company, it is an application that is entirely mobile, quick, safe, fully functional, and as modern as it can be. This is the engine of the application, which is today used by companies such as Google, Amazon. In a regular classical website, when we navigate around the website, the system downloads a lot of pages, and users just walk around those pages. There are certain things between pages, there are things related to security. Now we don't have these pages. We have one single application, one single interface, and you could notice it. You enter it once, and then you click on the buttons, and things happen immediately. And this maximum speed can only be attained due to the technologies we are now using. As of today, there are no more modern technologies in terms of development of mobile back offices. It is the most modern, effective, and the quickest solution, and it is now accessible to us, and it helped us expand the functionality of what we can do in the future, and what I will briefly speak about now. Again, over a year, we managed to test and to launch a very new type of website, which is now a website/application. Website/application, and we started doing it on the 3rd of January. While the majority of people were having a rest, some of them had already stopped having a rest. So we started the year very actively. This year we have also launched the test version 0 of our mobile application, and stores, Apple Store and Google Store, have already liked it. They assessed it quite efficiently. They put us in the category of mass media. Mass media like CNBC, New York Times. We are pretty much in those categories. And it was part of our strategy. We were acting alongside that strategy. Also, this year, which has been quite a short year in terms of set of activities, we have worked a lot with commissions, with payment capabilities, with different integrations, possibility of payment through crypto services, through cryptocurrency. We have worked a lot with different systems and services that allow a website to perform payment operations, payment transactions through crypto possibilities. And there we found a lot of bottlenecks. And this year we were working very actively on them. And this very month, we are finishing work on a product which, at the beginning of the next year, which is just about to start, so the new product which we will launch. So, this year we have done a lot. We have relaunched, reset the back office. We have launched a mobile application, and we have developed our own system, our own crypto gateway that will allow us, investors, first of all, to pay for our services and products using cryptocurrency with a minimum commission, a minimum fee that is taken from us by providers of the second and third tiers. Now we won't have those providers. We will set the commission that the network itself takes, that we cannot get rid of. Because if we have transactions via crypto services, we have to pay a fee to the network. But then there was also those processing services commission on top of it. And now we want to launch our own processing to eliminate this processing commission imposed on us and on investors, because now it exists and it is uncontrollable. And over a year, using our resources, using our teams, we have managed to create a cryptocurrency gateway. which at the beginning of the year will be launched, and we will be using it for ourselves, first of all, and then sometime later, a separate, fully fledged business may come out of it. So what new things will we do next year? First of all, we will continue to improve the back office. We have planned a lot of interesting functionalities, a lot of useful services that you asked us about yourself, for interaction with our business to be, for you and for us, easier and more effective. And we have it in our to-do list that we will work on. We will also launch a new version of our mobile application. Using the application, you will be able to interact with our services, with our technical support, with the team, in a very accelerated mode. And it will really be very convenient. It will always be next to you, always in your pocket. We will launch the first version, and then next year we'll have a series of improvements of those versions. But the first version which will appear will be very functional, absolutely functional. It will have the new design, and it will be as in line with the modern product as possible. And we are not going to do it from scratch. We are going to do it after our version 0, after the tested beta product. Also, we have updated our back office, and next year it will lead us to additional possibilities. Now we are thinking about and we are working on launch of the internal exchange, and the new safe back office, which we launched this year, will allow us to do that. I must also say that our back office, it is actually in line with the Web3 concept. And now we are examining blockchain systems, how they are implemented, how they function, how they operate, to have the possibility in the future to apply them and to use them on our side, if we have a business and functional need to do that. Why did we manage to do so much this year? It was done thanks to huge work in terms of restructuring the optimization of our system. You know, roadmaps, management system. We are now using a new software for managing tasks and projects. We have implemented a new system of interaction with support system, how tickets are created, how all that is worked on, how priorities change. The team has changed a lot in terms of design competences. It is more professional now. You can see it in the back office. And our great wish to do it quickly, well, and very professionally has allowed to do that within only one current year. And personally, I'm very happy with this result. And I am even more inspired that very, very soon, at the beginning of the next year, we will launch new things. And now it's time I removed my digital helmet. And it's time I said, Happy New Year to you, this solemn atmosphere. Happy New Year. And I want to wish to all of us interesting, exciting goals, aspirations, wishes. But it's not enough to wish. We need to write it down, and this year to think about the steps that we will need to implement next year for these wishes, for these goals to come true. So I wish to all of us exciting goals, big aspirations, to dream big, to think big, and of course to achieve them as soon as possible next year. And for us to be able to move on as efficiently, as quickly in the new year. Good luck. All the best to you. Let's move on towards the digital space altogether. See you soon. See you next year. Thank you, Vitaliy. Thank you for the good news. And we are moving on. The project Duyunov's Motors is an international project. We are active almost in all countries of the world. One way or another, we have registered users and investors, but we work most fruitfully on the markets where we have national representations. As of today, we have 22 national representations. They are countries in Europe, Asia, Africa, Latin America, And we continue to open more and more countries and to work in the regions where we already have representations. In 2022, we have opened 2 new representations in Colombia and in Northern Macedonia. We wish them luck in their work to promote our company and the project. And right now, I would like to give the floor to our national partners. They have prepared little video addresses for you. Let's watch them and thank them for that. I was in Russia and at the construction site for the first time in 2019. At that time, I saw only a fenced-off area at the construction site. I came to Moscow in 2022 twice, in February and in August, and I was amazed at the scale and pace of construction. It is almost 17,000 square meters of the future Sovelmash Engineering Center. At the beginning of the year, the builders had just begun assembling the walls. In summer, the framework of the building was almost closed, and now it is already warm. Hello friends, I'm Birdi Gulshan Kumar. As you know, we organized an offline conference in India, which you also saw live. And the demand for solar panels in India is growing very fast. More than 800 of our partners participated in that conference. And I would like to say that, as you know, a big problem has arisen now in India and across the universe with respect to smoke. This time, the people who were shown the product live, well, their interest in it grows even faster. Our speakers talked about the technology, our methods, shared their experiences, and why this technology should be adopted. Sovelmash is quickly becoming known in India. Its demand is increasing. I hope you will see products and other devices based on this technology in India as soon as possible. Thank you. This year we saw how quickly and smoothly the builders work. How much concrete the builders are pouring. A lot of concrete. How the walls are growing. How engineering networks and equipment are being brought to the building. Very soon, a unique enterprise will be operating here. I want to work even harder to get that time closer. The opening of the Sovelmash trading house is one of the best news of the year. The first pre-order for 6,000 Slavyanka-powered angle grinders is already being prepared for fulfillment. Part of them will come to Bulgaria. We are looking forward to it. The tools will also be produced at one of the best factories in China. Some will be assembled at Sovelmash. This is the company's first serial product and a new stage in the development of the project. In 2022, Sovelmash reached a new milestone and became much more recognizable in business and media circles. Participation in the International Military-Industrial Forum (ARMI) was a special event. Developments of Sovelmash, Gilles elevator hoist, electric armored personnel carrier, power tools and others were among the 10 best innovations of the forum, according to the journalists. Stories about the company were shown in several leading Russian media. Forbes magazine later wrote about the project. This spring, SOLARGROUP opened a national representation in Colombia. This is important for the promotion of the project in Latin America. My partners and I have worked and continue to work even more actively. Every week we hold webinars about the project. We organize regular meetings and presentations for investors, partners, and newcomers, all in order to complete the project faster and bring the technology to our country. In 2022, we got a lot closer to our dream. This year was a year of new breath for offline meetings and live conferences from Solar Group. 7 major conferences with the participation of the company's top executives took place during the year. Moscow left unforgettable impressions. We visited Sovelmash building site and saw with our own eyes the results of the several years of our work. We got news on project financing. We saw a lot of equipment based on the Slavyanka technology. We talked live with partners and colleagues from other countries, with whom we have long been friends. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Trinh and I am from Vietnam. In 2022, our project made a lot of progress, and we had 2 conferences in Vietnam, in Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City. In addition, we had 2 business meetings with representatives of electrical engineering factories, and this will help us find more investors. Vietnam is one of the leaders in the world in terms of investment in the project, and we see even more prospects for development in Vietnam. After opening a representation of Solar Group in Vietnam, we see that we work very efficiently, so we want to open dozens of new offices in different provinces and cities in 2023 to better promote the company and the project, and help the company to develop steadily and sustainably. In Indonesia, the Solar Group offline conference was held for the first time. Such events give a powerful impetus to promote the technology and boost new investments in the project. We organized a meeting for our engineers who saw the motors based on Slavyanka for the first time and were impressed with the Slavyanka technology. In November, Solar Group opened a representation in Northern Macedonia and held a conference for the first time. The event activated our investors and brought new participants to the project. We organized several business meetings with officials and businessmen, together with the company's top executives. The experience of our colleagues and partners from neighboring Bulgaria, where a large Solar Group conference was also recently held, is interesting and important for us in Macedonia.
Solar Group has held over 270 live meetings and presentations about the Duyunov project so far this year, 2022. Every day we tell the world about the project, answer their questions, and promote the technology. The result has been visible with more and more people getting to know the technology behind the project and the benefit thereof. Live communication has motivated partners to work as well as promotion conducted by the company. This year alone, Solar Group launched a series of 4 promotions for partners, and some of them have already completed several streams. The overall result has been an increased activity for partners, thereby bringing more and more investment into the project.
Throughout the year, stage 17 out of the 20 planned project financing stages continued. It brought us a lot of great news and brought the project much closer to completion. But by the end of the year, I'm sure there will be many more good surprises from Sovelmash and Solar Group. We, in the other part of the world, follow the construction progress every day, and the conferences and meetings unite us around the project even more. Thank you very much, our distinguished national partners. I want to thank you for your work. And you, friends, now you can see the people, if you have not seen them before. They are the people who set up work in their regions. And they are not just partners of the highest level. They are first of all leaders that other people follow. They are the people who are responsible for the result in this or that country, and they do it effectively. I wish luck to all our national partners, to their teams that also make a significant contribution to the overall goal. And I would like to have even more of such representations, and that is what will happen. In 2023, we are planning to open several more national representations, and we have already defined which ones, but I will not unveil it for the moment. Let's create some intrigue for you to be happy about it. Later, this information will be shared at the beginning of the new year. Just know that it's all coming. And of course, all of it will allow us to reach our goals even more effectively. Friends, you see with your own eyes that the project is being implemented actively. We don't just set goals, we don't just speak about our plans, but also step after step, we fulfill the tasks. It means that the vector we have selected is correct, and we will absolutely achieve all the goals we have set for ourselves. Sometimes we are lagging behind, but sometimes we are well ahead of what we have planned. And I'm sure that very soon we'll meet at a big conference right next to the operating innovative center Sovelmash, for you to see with your own eyes not the construction work, but the operational enterprise. We do something that many consider impossible, and often they tell us, you will not succeed in this, in that, but we do it and we do succeed. And then these people disappear. And where are their words? I'm sure that nothing will stop us now. We only have to do that final bit of work. That is why we are now getting to a new stage of development, as I have already said, and I want to congratulate you on that once again, getting to the 18th investment stage. But I want to remind you once again that at stage 18, investment conditions will be much less profitable. So invest now, until you still have the possibility to join the project under the current conditions, under the conditions of the 17th stage. Remember about the lottery as well, and about the possibility to increase the investment package you have paid for already. You will have this possibility until the end of the current investment stage, that is, until the end of the year. On that, I would like to thank both the Solar Group team and the Sovelmash team, as well as investors of the project and partners of the project. All together, we managed to realize such an interesting and such a complex project And you can see step by step how we are doing it and follow it almost live. On that, I would like to wish you Happy New Year and to remind you that right now you can make your contribution into financing of the project Duyunov's Modus and into its promotion just by one single action. Like this broadcast right now. Repost this broadcast. Spread it as much as you can. Send it to chats that you have access to. Place it in social networks. Sometimes a single, free of charge action that you can make makes us a little bit closer to the result. And if each of you does it, it will generate an inflow of investment that will be profitable for all of us. This is it. Thank you for your attention. Invest under the conditions of stage 17. Increase your package. Take part in the lottery. That's it. Thank you very much and see you soon.